everyone, my name is Ruby, and today I would like to tell you a little bit about how to pitch a business plan. Why I'm so interested in this topic, because this is something that's very close to my heart. This is very personal as well because I love presenting, and in my own personal opinions, I think that pitching a business plan is definitely so important as the business plan itself. And today we're going to go through some of the most critical aspects in order for us to know how to effectively pitch a business plan. So let's go with that. So what should we know first? Definitely, what is a pitch? I'm not sure if you have heard of this competitions, but it's called Shark Tank, and it's basically a pitch. So people sign up for this, companies sign up for this, startups sign up for this in order to pitch in front of 5 extremely rich people. And they're going to listen for that pitch, and they will decide whether they're going to buy that product or that ideas or not. So without further ado, let's watch a short clip of Shark Tank.
Howdy Sharks, I'm Mark Newberger.
And I'm Jeffrey Simon, and our company is DropStop. We're here today seeking a $300,000 investment in exchange for a 15% stake in our company. Now Sharks, let me ask you a question. Have you ever dropped anything down that gap between the seat and center console in your car? You know what I'm talking about. That black hole, that dark abyss, the pit of doom, what we like to call the Bermuda Triangle, that place that eats up your cell phone, your keys, loose change, parking and credit cards, and all sorts of food items like the French fry. Tell me, how many of you have a 2-year-old petrified French fry sitting down that gap? Who hasn't struggled, gotten on their hands and knees, butt up in the air, trying to retrieve what just fell down there? Well, today, your crack problems are over. Car seat crack, that is.
Introducing DropStop, the first of its kind, original, patented safety device designed to once and for all block that pesky yet ever so dangerous gap between your car seat and center console. DropStop reduces driver distraction by keeping your eyes on the road, not in your gap. DropStop is universal to fit any car or truck. The built-in slot is designed to fit easily around the seatbelt catch like so, which anchors it to the seat so it can never fall through to the floor. And wherever your seat goes, DropStop follows. The stretchy, durable material is designed to last the life of your vehicle and beyond, and DropStop's squishy center allows it to expand or contract to fit any size gap. You won't even know it's there until it stops the drop. So Sharks, we can make a lot of money together, but we can also save a lot of lives together. So we're asking y'all, just this once, to lay down your dorsal fins and join us to make dropping and driving a thing of the past.
Okay, so do you enjoy the clips? Well, I'm not sure about you, but I definitely love DropStop. And this is not only because of the product itself, but because how they actually use a lot of techniques in order to effectively pitch their business plan. If you realize from the beginning, they already mentioned about how frustrating we are when we're in the car and then we drop things into different gaps in the car. And this makes us feel like, okay, this is us. This is definitely related to us. And they're successfully do that in a way for the investor to be so convinced that the product will be a very profitable plans in the future. And this is just a beginning of the pitch. And later on, I'm going to tell you what kind of techniques that they are actually incorporating in their pitch in order for them to actually very effectively persuade investors. You see that they are very happy to actually listen to DropStop. Okay, so now let's go back to our lecture. So a pitch. Selling an idea or a product to potential investors. So basically, a pitch is like a script for a salesperson to convince the customers to buy their products and buy their ideas. And it's also so important that it is a very concise script, a very concise summary, because the investor, they have to listen to a lot of products, a lot of ideas every day, and there are extremely busy people. Just think in this way and you'll be able to concise your pitch in a short versions, and then to catch the attentions of the business investors in just like few seconds. This is definitely the first impressions of your products and ideas in front of an investor, and this is so important, and I'm sure you agree with me. The first impression is always the most critical part in order for you to be memorable in front of other people. So, how do you deliver an astounding pitch? What do you guys think? What comes up to your minds first when you think about pitching? Well, for me, I think practice is definitely the most important step, the most important first step in order for you to have a good pitch. If you read the quote from Bruce Lee, which is one of my favorite actors, I fear not the man who has practiced 10,000 kicks once, but I fear the man who has practiced one kicks 10,000 times. And so how can I relate to have a good pitching through practice? If you remember about the pitch that Dropstop just made previously, you realize that that was definitely not an improvised presentations. Definitely those two guys behind doors, they have practiced tons and tons of times in order to produce such an effective short pitch like that. Another important point is that you need to know the informations, but know more than the informations you are actually presenting. Do you know why? Because the investor will not just simply listen to your pitch and then decide whether they want to invest in your products or not. But they will definitely ask tons and tons of questions. They will dig deep down inside the topic to test whether you really understand your products or not. And on the other hand, they will know whether they would be able to be a good fit for your product through those questions. So yeah, definitely practice. Okay, so now let's go into a little bit more into details. What are the components? What are the vital components in order for you to deliver a good pitch? Okay, now I'm gonna show you a video from a demo day pitch tips. Well, most of the times you would heard about elevator pitch, which is more on pitching in front of the investors. So what's the difference between demo day pitch and the elevator pitch? Let's watch a video from Donna Griff and see how she actually explaining what are the good tips in order to have a good demo day pitch.
Hi everyone, I'm Donna Griffith and I'm a corporate storyteller, which basically means that for the past decade I've roamed the globe helping people get their story straight and sound great telling it. Taking boring data and kind of turning it into exciting presentations and documents that really people understand and get the results you're driving for. I've helped startups raise tens of millions of dollars, and there's nothing more exciting for me than helping them get to the core of their story and really get the results. Today we're going to talk about a demo day pitch. Now, there's a big difference between an investor pitch and a demo day pitch. When it's demo day, you have about 5 minutes, give or take, to really wow your audience, put on a show and be a rock star. You're up against a lot of other people and you want to be memorable. So we're going to talk about the content and the delivery of a demo day pitch to kind of get you ready for your big day.
So I would just stop a little bit about here to get you more focused on what's the difference between an elevator pitch and a demo day pitch. So if you heard what Donna just said, you remember that a demo day pitch is simply a pitch that you will have to present your products and idea in front of a more crowded group of people, more like the users or the audience rather than the potential investors. But they are equally important because in demo day pitch, you want to have very good impressions in front of your potential customers as well, right? So let's see, even though there share some differences, the tips that we use for both elevator pitch and a demo day pitch will be very similar.
We're not attempting to tell the entire story of our startup. There's just no way to do that in 5 minutes. We want to intrigue them. We want to kind of get into their minds, get them excited, and get the next meeting. So where do we start? Well, obviously you want to introduce yourself, but there's really no need to go too long into that. So say who you are. And if you have any big achievements or any big traction, you already have customers, you have downloads, something exciting, you've won a prize maybe, you can go ahead and say that at the beginning. Quickly as possible, you want to get to the pain. You want people to actually feel, ouch, there's a real problem out there that you're going to solve. But before you can talk about your solution, you need to get them very clear on the fact that there is a problem, there is a gap. So talk about the need, talk about the challenge, talk about the gap out there, the missed opportunities.
I want to stop the video a little bit about this because I want to emphasize on the importance of mentioning the problems in front of your audience or your investors. This is so important that you have to make sure that you incorporate the problem into your pitch. Why? Because in order for your investors or your potential users to be attracted to your products and ideas, they have to be able to relate to themselves, or at least to relate to the target markets. For example, remember about the drop stop video? They mentioned, well, from the very first few seconds of their pitch, they already came directly to the problem. They mentioned about how you guys always how you always drop things in your cars, and this is so frustrating. And you can remember the facial impressions of the investors, how they feel so related, how they feel very interested in the products and the potentials of growing the products into a bigger scale. So remember that the problem is definitely an important aspect that you need to include in your pitch. Okay, what else?
And either one of those gets them excited. Kind of at the beginning of an action-adventure film where you meet the villain at the beginning, or a villainous act, an explosion, a kidnapping, a murder, and it keeps you on the edge of your seat. That's what you want. So less than a minute is devoted to that. Then you can talk about your solution. Now, this is not the place to get too technical and too detail-oriented. You want to be able to say what it is that you do in very simple language. We do X for Y by Z, right? So as simple as you can, and then as quickly as possible, move on to an impressive demo. You can stand talking about your solution for an hour, or you can show a minute-long demo, and what do you think is going to be more impressive?
Okay, so let's stop one more time because I feel like this one is definitely very important as well, the demo. It is important in a demo day pitch to actually have a demo, right? Well, that is obvious. But in an elevator pitch, demo is definitely critical as well. Okay, I like to go back to that drop stop presentations pitch. It is definitely a good example for you guys to follow. You see, when they're talking about the problems, at the same time, the two guys do the demo, use the drop stop product to put on the car seat and shows how it is helping, how it is solving the problems.
Obviously the demo. So prepare a little short film, some screenshots, even reenact something there, anything that it takes to really get them to see. And remember, do your demo from a first-time user's perspective. They've never seen your product before, so they want to understand what the process of going through it is. So really get them excited about that, let them see how good it'll look. Now that they know about the problem you're solving and about your solution, it's time to talk a little bit about the market. Now, in a 5-minute presentation, there's no way that you're going to be able to hit what you would in an entire business presentation to an investor. So there's 3 main things that I'd like you to hit. 1, differentiation. How do you really stand out from your competitors? Now, it's fine to have competitors. It's good to have competitors. It means that somebody has recognized the need and they have users. And we never, ever want to say something bad about our competitors because you don't know who might be in the room that's invested in them or that knows somebody on the team. So we always will say, like, my competitors are doing X, and what we do is X, Y, and Z. How cool. So you're adding to it. And you're really showing that you've done your homework, you know your competitive landscape, and you know what sets you apart from the noise. Then, we want to talk about how we're going to make money. You're not just here to impress people, you're here to show them that if they invest in you, they will definitely make a return on it. So you want to talk about the business model. Now, people at this point of an early stage startup don't necessarily know the business model that they're going to eventually use. So it's okay not to be 100% sure, but you can do a little bit of homework and see what the best fit is. Is it freemium? Is it ad-based? Is it a marketplace? Is it a rev share? Whatever you think fits your product most, and you can kind of talk about a subscription, how much you'd be charging. No need to go into big projections of how much money you're going to make. It sounds a little bit silly at this point to start going off on that. So just keep it very simple. Finally, we want to touch on the opportunization. It sounds better with monetization and differentiation. So go with me on this. We want to touch on the market. What is the market you're addressing? Now, it's not just the addressable market. It's not just, oh my gosh, this is a $1 billion market with billions of users. We want to talk about what's really unique here. What's happening now? What's the opportunity? What's shifted in the technologies? What's shifted in the economy? What's shifted with users that really makes you something that they need? Have there been any mergers or acquisitions in your field? Have people been invested in, your competitors? Something that really proves, hey, there's a need for this. We need to jump on this bandwagon, and you need to invest in us to help us do it. So there you go.
So yeah, one of the last things that Donna touched that I would like to focus more a little bit, more would definitely be the opportunizations. We need to mention to your investors what are the opportunities out there to grow your products. Okay, let's go back to the drop stop presentations again. I'm sorry, but I really love this pitch. And yeah, if you remember in the end, the 2 guys, what did they mention that actually really touched the hearts of the investors? Yeah, they mentioned about a lot of people actually have accidents and have very severe car accidents due to they have to pick things up when they were driving and they didn't put their eyes on the road. And this is something that is a great opportunity for the drop stop to be a market leader. Okay, now let's go back to our slides. So after this, Donna's actually gonna talk a little bit more about some of the good tips, but I'm not gonna go over it. You can actually watch it on your own. I already attached a link down there, so you can just go straight there and look more on what are the other tips in order to have a good demo day pitch. So now I'm gonna go through just a quick sum up of what are the main critical aspects in order to have a good investor pitch. This is actually proposed by Dave McClure from 500 Startups. So if you can see that his models is relatively similar to what Donna previously mentioned about the problems, you need to talk about the pain, and then after that you move on to your solutions. You talk about your market size, which is also how big is your markets would be for JobStop, they will actually attract tons and tons of consumers, because if you know, a lot of people now are using cars and having the same problems that JobStop are trying to solve. And then the business model, how you're gonna make money out of this product. Like Donna said, it should not be too particular, too much in detail. It's just a sum up. And then what are your technology you're acquiring, how innovative your product is. The competitions, definitely important. It's not about bullying your competitors, but more on how you're so different and how so unique you are compared to the competitions out there. And definitely important is your marketing plans, how you want to promote, advertise your products. What are your teams? This is definitely a good point for you to showcase your company's abilities and to promote your credibility in front of your investors. And last but not least, how much do you want your investor to put in order to make your plan happen? So these 8 aspects is a very simple, straightforward, but definitely effective step-by-step guides in order for you to have a good investor pitch. Besides the critical components that you need to have in your pitch, it is undoubtedly important for you to remember to carry some of the other good tips, like you need to be very professional, arrive early. You need to build on your presentation skills, be confident, be yourself, always keep the energies going on so that you're able to transfer your energies to the investor, so that investor feel very interested in your product. Before I end my lessons today, I would like you to come home and watch this YouTube video about Levi's route and how he actually pitched his rugged sauce to the investor. I already attached a link also down there. You can go check on it, and also attach some of the questions related to the pitch. So I already attached some of the questions that I think would be very helpful for you to understand better today's lessons. So yeah, that's all for today's lessons. I really hope that you're able to fully understand today's lessons. One of the very most important aspect in order for you to deliver an astounding pitch. And I believe that this is not a one-stage success. This definitely requires a lot of practice in order for you to persuade people to believe in you. But a good start is definitely necessary. Believe in yourself and you'll be able to achieve what you want to do. So this is Ruby again, and just want to let you know this is my first time recording and there are a lot of mistakes and errors involved, but I hope you actually enjoyed what I'm trying to share with you today, and see you again.